Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Russian involvement. However, coincidentally, the fact that Trump wasn't under FBI investigation was never leaked to the media. Comey's testimony also revealed that our suspicions about Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch's bizarre meeting on the tarmac were valid and may even prompt further investigation. For more reports, go to Infowars.com. This is Millie.
It's Friday, June 9th, 2017. I'm your host, Owen Schroyer, and here's what's coming up on the Infowars Nightly News.
Tonight, less than a week after his tweet labeling President Donald Trump a piece of shit, foul-mouthed CNN host Reza Aslan is out of here, as CNN has finally made the decision to let him go. Then, liberals share their opinion about Trump's decision to pull out of the Paris Accord.
Well, I think it's a terrible idea. I think that it's one of the worst things he's done so far.
It's pretty messed up, not surprising, but yeah.
It's on the wrong side of history. I just think we're going backwards as a country. You know, he's now looking to the future. We're children of the 60s, where there was hope. Now there's no hope.
And you'll never believe what Donald Trump just said about the Comey testimony. You'll find out up next on the Infowars Nightly News.
Globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. The key is to be aware of this attack and to fight back against it. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs harvested around the planet and then concentrated for maximum potency. I've always believed in nutrition and herbs. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by Infowars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. Visit InfowarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from Infowars Life.
Check out these amazing deals at InfowarsStore.com. 25% off BioTrue Selenium, a powerful antioxidant, and back in stock, Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste, now 33% off. And while you're there, check out the Total Oral Care Pack, which combines our organic mouthwash with the amazing Super Blue toothpaste, now 37% off. All available right now at InfowarsStore.com.
I think I will have a career after this. I'm going to be honest, he broke me. He broke me. He broke. And then I was like, no, this isn't right. It's just not right. And I apologized because that was the right thing to do and I meant it. And then I saw the tide turning and I saw what they were doing and I went, oh, okay, they're trying to spin this and they're making it about Barron, and obviously that was never my intent. I would never want to hurt anyone, much less a child, but I started to see what was really happening. And then it was a mob mentality pile-on. And so many people have expressed to me personally across the country at my shows, they're scared. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get arrested today. I don't know. But I have to stand up. Excuse me?
What do you think about CNN firing you?
It's hurtful to me.
Wow. Tough to watch. There is J. Edgar Comey, broken by President Donald Trump. I mean, you saw the video, folks. J. Edgar Comey just brought to tears, really barely even able to get through that speech. J. Edgar Comey. Of course, that was a comical piece of the besieged Kathy Griffin who is now fired from the dying CNN, who can't even beat out reruns of old news shows. They can't even crack the top 20 of news shows. CNN is almost dead. And when you put on people like Don Lemon and Jake Crapper, well, that's what you're going to get. So there's the comical piece of J. Edgar Comey, of course, with Kathy Griffin crying over it. That was pretty funny. I enjoyed that. Now, let's go to actually a highlight clip of the Comey testimony that was. We have boiled it down to what we believe are the top highlights, the top moments from the Comey hearing. Go ahead and roll that clip, guys.
Did you show copies of your memos to anyone outside of the Department of Justice?
Yes.
That's
and
illegal.
To whom did you show copies?
And my judgment was I needed to get that out into the public square. And so I asked a friend of mine to share the content of the memo with a reporter. Didn't do it myself for a variety of reasons, but I asked him to because I thought
head of the
might prompt the
FBI,
appointment of a special counsel,
who would be in
So I
charge
asked a
of
close friend
finding
mine to do it.
leakers, ends up being the leaker himself.
I would see what we could do.
Illegally.
What did you mean?
I was kind of a slightly cowardly way of trying to
Oh,
avoid
he admits
telling
he's a
him,
coward.
We're
That's
not gonna
classic.
do that I would see what we could do. It was
That's
a way
the head of the
kind
FBI, folks, a
getting
self-admitted
off
coward.
The phone, frankly.
That's
and
nice.
then I turned and handed it to the acting Deputy Attorney General, Mr. Bente.
The decision to publicly go out with your results on the email, was your decision influenced by the Attorney General's tarmac meeting with the former President Bill
Which
Clinton?
also was illegal?
Yes, in a ultimately conclusive way. That was the thing that capped it
So
for
the
me, that I
illegal
had to do
meeting
something
influenced
separately.
your decision?
Probably the only other
Okay.
consideration that I guess I can talk about in an open setting is that at one point the Attorney General
I'll tell you
directed
later.
me
I'll tell you in a
not to call
closed
it an
setting.
investigation, but instead to call it a matter.
Maybe when I'm not on
So
oath.
on the cloud, we keep talking about this cloud. You perceive
So
the
that's
cloud
fine.
to
I'll tell
be
you the truth about
Russian
Loretta Lynch when I'm not under
investigation
oath.
in
That's
general.
nice.
Yes, sir.
But the specific ask
Now,
was
little
that you would tell
Marco
the American
ends up
people
being the
what you had
biggest
already
one of
told him,
all.
What you had already told the leaders of Congress, both Democrats and Republicans, that he was not personally under investigation.
Yes, sir.
In
That's
fact, he
how
was
I...
asking you to do what you have done here today.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. And just to be clear, for you to make a public statement that he was not under investigation would not have been illegal, but you felt it made no sense because it could potentially create a duty to correct.
Yeah,
if
he didn't want to
circumstances
release that
changed.
because he was
Yes, sir. We
afraid
wrestled
that
with
it
it
would
before my
interfere with
testimony
the
where I
investigation
confirmed,
he's doing, even though
that
it
it was
would have
an
been evidence
investigation.
in the investigation he was doing.
Were, number one,
It's complete madness.
be loyal. Number two, let the Mike.
He's already
Flynn thing
admitted
go.
he's
a
broken
good
the law
guy. He's been
twice.
Treated unfairly. And number three, can you please tell the American people what these leaders in Congress already know, what you already know, what you've told me 3 times, that I'm not personally under investigation?
Those are the 3 things he asked. Yes, sir.
You know, this investigation is full of leaks left and right. I mean, we've learned more
Marco
from
Rubio,
newspapers
little
sometimes than we
Marco,
do from our
bigger
open
than
hearings,
7
for sure.
foot tall Jim Comey.
Do you ever wonder why, of all the things in this investigation, the only thing that's never been leaked is the fact that the president was not personally under investigation, despite the fact that both Democrats and Republicans and the leadership of Congress knew that and have known that for weeks?
Wouldn't have anything to do with the
Now,
political witch
on a
hunt,
number
I'm
of
sure.
occasions here, you bring up, let's talk now about the general Russia investigation, okay? In page 6 of your testimony, you say, the first thing you say is, he asked what we could do to, quote unquote, lift the cloud, the general Russia investigation, and you responded that we were investigating the matter as quickly as we could and that there would be great benefit if we didn't find anything to having done the work well. And he agreed. He re-emphasized the problems it was causing him, but he agreed. So in essence, the president agreed with your statement that it would be great if we could have an investigation, all the facts came out, and we found nothing. So he agreed that that would be ideal, but this cloud is still messing up my ability to do the rest of my agenda. Is that an accurate assessment of?
Yes, sir. He actually went farther than that. He said, and if some of my satellites did something wrong, it'd be good to find that out.
Well, that's the second part, and that is the satellites. He said if one of my satellites, I imagine by that he meant some of the other people surrounding his campaign did something wrong, it would be great to know that as well.
Yes, sir. That's what he said.
Quote, I hope, this is the president speaking, I hope
So basically,
you can see your way
no
clear to
interference
letting this
at
go,
all
to
with
letting
the
Flynn
investigation.
Go. He is a good guy. I hope you can let this go. Now, those are his exact words. Is that correct?
Correct.
That is according to Comey. Trump today denied that. Trump today said that that is not true.
He did not direct you to let it go.
Which then brings up the conversation of the tapes again.
He did not order you to let it go.
Not in his words.
Again, those words are not an order.
No.
And the reason I keep saying his words is I took it as a direction.
Right.
I mean, this is the President of the United States with me alone saying, I hope this. I took it as this is what he wants me to do.
But you weren't there to investigate him.
And as you perceived it,
so why did you take it that way? You weren't there to do an investigation. You were just having a meeting, which actually you called, you scheduled it, and then you said Trump scheduled it.
Yes.
Do you believe that you were fired because you refused to take the president's direction? Is that the ultimate reason?
I don't know for sure. I know I was fired.
Even though he already said that the president didn't give him that direction.
I was fired because of something about the way I was conducting the Russia investigation was in some way
wasting our time. You were wasting energy.
Irritating him, and he decided to fire me.
It's irritating all of us.
It had been appropriate for the Attorney General, or if she had recused herself, which she did not do, for the Deputy Attorney General to appoint a special counsel. That's essentially what's happened now with Director Mueller. Would that have been an appropriate step in the Clinton email investigation, in your opinion?
Certainly a possible step, yes, sir.
And were you aware that Ms. Lynch had been requested numerous times to appoint a special counsel and had refused?
Yes, from, I think Congress had, members of Congress had repeatedly
Speaking of
asked,
collusion.
Yes, yours truly.
Clinton and Lynch,
on multiple occasions. And
apparently Comey, too, because he was aware of it and did nothing, so he's in there, too.
Appearance of a conflict of interest with the Department of Justice, which caused you to make what you have described as an incredibly painful decision to basically take the matter up yourself and led to that July press conference.
Yes, sir. After the President Clinton, former President Clinton, met on the plane with the Attorney General, I considered whether I should call for the appointment of a special counsel, and I decided that would be
you didn't because Loretta Lynch told you not to, because Clinton told her to tell you not to.
Very, very thoroughly. I know this is a subject of passionate disagreement, but I knew there was no case there, and calling for the appointment of special counsel.
He knew there was no case there, even though he indicted Hillary Clinton in his formal hearing before saying he wouldn't prosecute.
You talked with us shortly after February 14th when the New York Times wrote an article that suggested that the Trump campaign was colluding with the Russians. You remember reading that article when it first came out?
I do. It was about allegedly extensive electronic surveillance.
Correct.
Communications. Yes.
And
wiretapping.
That upset you to the point where you actually went out and surveyed the intelligence community to see whether you were missing something in that. Is that correct?
That's correct. I want to be careful in open setting.
I'm not.
Yeah, he doesn't want to lie because he knows Obama was spying on everything.
In addition to that, after that, you sought out both Republican and Democrat senators to tell them that, hey, I don't know where this is coming from, but this is not the case. This is not factual. Do you recall?
You mean the New York Times was inventing stuff?
So again, so the American people can understand this, that report by the New York Times was not true. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, in the main, it was not true.
But it's still ongoing.
In the main.
So far as I know, it was when I left.
That investigation was going on. This investigation is going on. You reached separate conclusions.
No, that one was done.
That investigation of any involvement.
Look at Comey's face. He's like, wait, this is not how we rehearsed it. What's going on?
Associates is completed.
Yes, as of July the 5th.
Oh my gosh, McCain is literally, he's having a senile moment right now. Oh my gosh.
Announcing what we had done and what we had found.
Secretary Clinton, for any activities
he's so confused
in the Russia involvement in our engagement in our election. I don't quite understand.
See, the funny thing is, there's McCain slipping up and saying Clinton involved with Russia, which is actually the truth. But Comey doesn't answer that because it's not how they rehearsed it, and he's here to demonize Trump.
We're not, at least when I left, when I was fired on May the 9th, there was still an open, active investigation to understand the Russian efforts and whether any Americans work with them.
Which McCain just slipped up in his mental state, which is deteriorating, and said Clinton.
So you reached the conclusion.
This is amazing.
In the case
McCain, in his senile mind, is actually admitting that it was Clinton. And Comey is sitting here like, wait a second, we're supposed to be demonizing Trump. You're blowing it.
Have an ongoing investigation. So you got one candidate,
and then he just has no idea what he's saying,
and another candidate that you have a long way to go. Is that correct?
If the president
John
wanted to
McCain
stop
said that's because he was up late watching a baseball game.
how would he do that? Knowing it's an ongoing criminal investigation or counterintelligence
And this is key
investigation,
because President Trump could have ended the investigation legally if he wanted to, even though that's not what he tried to do. He could have if he wanted to.
Stop, or how would the president make an ongoing investigation stop?
He's the
Again,
president.
I'm not a legal scholar, so smarter people
he's not a
answer this
legal
better, but
scholar.
I think as a legal matter, the president is the head of the executive
Corporate lawyer,
branch
not a legal scholar.
and could direct, in theory, we have important norms against this, but direct that anybody be investigated or anybody not be investigated.
So there you go. There's the top 10 moments from the Comey hearing. Wow, a lot of golden nuggets there. Him lying, him basically including Loretta Lynch into collusion with the Clintons, him admitting he's the leaker, which is also illegal, unbelievable. Now, here's another clip of Comey talking about what has been or what has been alleged about Russia mingling in our elections.
There have been news accounts about the Russia investigation, about collusion, about this whole event, or accusations that, as you read the story, you were stunned about how wrong they got the facts.
Yes, there have been many, many stories purportedly based on classified information about, well, about lots of stuff, but especially about Russia, that are just dead wrong.
Sorry, dead wrong. Nothing to see here about Russia. I mean, he was under oath. I guess he did have to tell the truth. That's why he admitted he was the leaker. Now, while all of this was going on, while the biggest C-SPAN ratings of all time, the most watched hearing of all time of any FBI director, all eyes were on this. Mainstream news outlets, cable, satellite, everyone cutting their feeds to go to the Comey hearing. While all the madness was going on, guess what President Trump was doing? Rebuilding America. Here's that video.
It's my pleasure to welcome so many incredible governors, tribal leaders, mayors, county commissioners, and other leaders of our country to the White House Infrastructure Summit. Today we're here to talk about how we will create the infrastructure of the future by partnering with the states and local governments. You're the stewards of the vast majority of our nation's roads and bridges and airports. In addition to reforming our broken permitting system, we want to partner with state and local governments to better meet the needs of our citizens. My budget proposal includes a massive investment in new federal support for infrastructure. These dollars will be matched by significant private, state, and local dollars for maximum efficiency and accountability. Together, we're going to rebuild America.
Now, did you see any mainstream news reporting on this? The president put out multiple videos, actually, and multiple tweets talking about his plan to rebuild America's infrastructure. Did any mainstream news cover that? Hardly any at all. It was all about the Comey hearing. Now, the Comey hearing was very important. A lot came out in it, and it's still important to digest and to figure out exactly what needs to be done as a reaction to the things that James Comey said and alleged about himself and about others. But let's not forget what we elected President Trump to do, folks. And he has really come through. If you just look at a flash shot of what President Trump has done, how could anybody not agree with this? Got us out of the TPP, easing the weight of NATO on our shoulders, got us out of the Paris Climate Accord, which will literally save us trillions of dollars, fired the head of the FBI. I could have walked around to every Bernie voter, probably most Hillary voters, mostly everybody Antifa 5 years ago. I could have probably asked all these people 5 years ago, do you think the FBI is corrupt? I bet you 80% of more people would say, yes, the FBI is corrupt. What should we do? Fire the FBI director. Trump did it. He's draining the swamp. James Comey was the swamp, and he's a self-admitted coward. And I bet you, if he sits down one-on-one with Trump or some other hard-ass who wants to get justice against the Clintons or whoever else is trying to rob America, he's going to sing like a bird because he's a self-admitted coward. Thanks, Comey. You turned a nothing burger into a Comey sandwich.
We've taken thousands of years of known research and put it together with our own 4 years of seeking and testing to find the very best systems that God gave us through Mother Nature to detoxify the body. That's why I'm introducing Z-Shield, Toxic Metal and Chemical Defense Support. It's made in the USA. It's filled with known compounds from nature that are absolutely associated with detoxifying the body, and it supports the InfoWar. It is a classical 360 win. Our formula at InfoWarsLife.com is, quite frankly, simple. We go out and look at the recognized research, and we take it to the next level of quality, of purity, and of strength. Because this is what I personally use for myself and my family. We've gone through 5 or 6 different permutations in the last 4 years since we launched Infowars Life to actually come up with this. This is the formula that I personally have been taking for over a year, and now we believe we have come as close to perfection when it comes to a detoxifier as you can possibly get. If you're not mitigating the pesticides, the heavy metals, the chemicals, if you're not trying to purify your water, if you're not trying to take products like Z-Shield that are full of known concentrated compounds that help purify our cells and our bodies, you're crazy. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, and you owe it to the future of this country and the world that patriots stay as healthy and as clean and as focused as you can be, because we need you, the remnant of America, to reignite those brush fires to the next level and to be healthy and as focused as you can be. Because if you're sick, if you're over there on the sidelines and not in the fight, you're basically giving in to the New World Order. Thanks to your support and your prayers together, we're changing the world. Now it's time to change our bodies with Z-Shield at InfoWarsLife.com.
I want to tell you about some of the products at InfoWarsStore.com. We are under constant attack. You know it by now from the mainstream media. They're trying to attack us on every level now with the YouTube scandal. They're demonetizing our channels, which again takes a huge chunk out of our income, which is why we always appreciate and rely on you getting the products, because that's how we stay afloat. They can't get to us that way. They can't pressure you to not buy the products. They don't have that power. And that's why you're the key to this entire operation. We have Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste, bubblegum flavor just arrived at InfoWarsStore.com. This is by listener request. Bubblegum flavored Super Blue toothpaste now available at InfoWarsStore.com in limited supply. Again, if you're not using fluoride-free toothpaste by now, you're absolutely insane. Harvard studies, it reduces IQ, it causes bone cancer. It's not great, let's just put it that way. And I've been using it for about, 15 years now? So you're going to buy it anyway, why not buy it from us? It's in limited supply, but it is available at InfoWarsStore.com with the new bubblegum flavor. Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste, and it supports this network, which is under constant demonization and attack, because we don't take big fat checks from George Soros. We don't get put on extremist lists, even though they want us to. That's how they're taking away the YouTube money. That's why we need your support more than ever, because we're not funded by giant corporations who are now pulling the plug on YouTube as they move it into a TV thing, a Netflix model, to drown out independent voices. So support us by getting the products at InfoWarsStore.com.
Well, this is a rather odd piece of news, but it's a piece of news I feel I need to report over and over again. And take what you want from this, but it is certainly an oddity that we find these European leaders have in common. This was a story originally from DC Whispers, or at least that's where I first saw it. What do Germany's Angela Merkel, France's Emmanuel Macron, Italy's Paolo Gentiloni, Great Britain's Theresa May, Holland's Mark Rutte, Sweden's Stefan Löfven, Scotland's Nicola Sturgeon, and the European Commission's Jean-Claude Juncker have in common? No, folks, it's not that they're all the leaders of nations in Europe who want open borders and are now suffering from traumatic radical Islamic extremism. No, they do have that in common, but that's not what I'm talking about. None of them, 0 of them, have kids or grandkids. How about that? What are the odds of that? And what does that tell you about the psychology of these people, good or bad, that they don't have kids? And what does that tell you about their world view? I think it says quite a lot, but I'll leave that judgment up to you. But again, all these great and powerful leaders in Europe, no family, no kids, no grandkids, no future lineage. No wonder why they don't care about your future lineage. Now, this is actually a culture problem that is now coming to America, and that culture is anti-family. And one of the things they're doing that's anti-family is trying to poison the minds of our youths. Now, this is an incredible story that really just kind of makes your eyes pop and wonder what the heck is going on. 8-year-old boy Ethan learns to become an LGBT drag queen makeup artist. Now, this is a young boy. You look into this, and really, folks, what the sad truth of this is that this boy's mother does not care about anything except herself. And we'll see that as I play some of these videos. But you would first ask yourself, what parent in their right mind would ever do this to their child? Let's go ahead and roll this video. And you know what, guys? When we were rolling this video, everybody else back there was sickened by this too. So if you guys want to comment while we roll these videos, you guys back in the control room, have your mics open too. Look at this sick, disgusting trash that they're forcing this kid to do. This is an 8-year-old boy at a drag queen show.
Lactatia.
Lactatia. His mother named him Lactatia. How about that?
Adorable Lactatia.
And then this drag queen is cursing with this kid on stage.
Not really.
What kind of parent takes their kid to this type of show and then puts them on stage like some kind of a prop? A sick parent, that's what. And it's all fun and games to this drag queen. Yeah, this is all fun and games. We're here poisoning the youth, propping up this youth that wants to be a tranny. That's sick. They will take your kids from you. CPS will take your kids from you if they find an old marijuana roach on your coffee table. This parent's out here parading their kid around like some sort of tranny, putting her in drag queen shows. Nothing from CPS. Nothing. Makes me sick. Excuse me, I'm just...
Okay, so let's try this again.
Look at these people filming this kid. I mean, this poor kid literally gets put up on the stage. So now what's going on in this kid's mind? This kid thinks it's cool. This kid thinks it's popular. This kid thinks, wow, I can get a lot of attention. Look at this, I'm fun, I'm hip. It's cool. This is rewarding. It's all fake. And then other kids are going to see this and be like, wow, I'm lost. I don't have any friends. I don't have people cheering for me. I want to be like Lactatia. I want to put on a wig. I want to do makeup. Mommy, why won't you let me put makeup on and dance around in a wig? Look, Lactatia can do it. They're going to parade this girl around. This is going to be the next thing they're going to try to poison the youth with.
What I love most about this is Mom is here with you, support you. Is that correct?
Yeah, my mom's in the front row supporting this sickening behavior. Can you imagine a parent being around? Remember that old infomercial, Girls Gone Wild? We're here with Girl Gone Wild. Woo! I want to thank my mother who's supporting me. Woo! Thank you, Mom. Woo! Woo! That's basically what you have here.
You're my favorite.
Okay, so that's nice. Wow. Poor kid, man. Poor kid. Now, let's go to this other video. Again, this kid is just being propped up. Of course, all the people in this community, oh, we love this kid. Look at how fun this kid is. Woo! They don't care that they're literally destroying this kid's mind, destroying this kid's hopes at a normal future. Here's more, and you'll see the parent that's the problem in this video.
I think that anyone can do what they want in life,
It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. If you want to be a drag queen and your parents don't let you,
they're gonna put this kid in front of kids. Oh yeah, it's the parents' fault.
If you want to be a drag queen and your friends don't let you,
that's what Andrew Cuomo says.
All right,
or that's what the guy Cuomo on CNN says. Oh my gosh, if you don't like the fact that there's a tranny walking around in the bathroom with your little girl, there's something wrong with you.
And I'm gonna vote.
Oh, really?
We can't wait
something
to
wrong
see
with
you
you,
vote.
huh?
You know how you're turning out to be like a social media superstar right
Here
now?
we go. Social media superstar. You're a big deal. You're a hero. You're making a difference. We love you. Propping this poor kid up to set up the rest of the youth to poison their minds with this garbage.
Drag, and everyone thought that was super
This is not
cute.
normal.
I've been getting into drag since I was like 7.
Okay.
But literally, I've been wearing like dresses and being into girl stuff since I was like 3.
And where does the name come from?
Well, my sister made it up, and we
So there
all
you go. The
thought that
family
was really
supporting this.
funny.
And then you kept it.
Yeah, I kept it.
So I want to say a little hi to your parents because I understand that your mom did your makeup tonight. Am I right?
Here's the mom. Here's the
They get you
problem.
to go to Ellen DeGeneres.
Why do you think the mom does this? For her kid or for herself? For herself. This mother wants attention. She's desperate. So now she's doing this to her kid. This is child abuse. This is child abuse.
But what would you do if she would invite you?
Folks, you can look at unbelievable stories of the reasons why CPS has taken children from kids, and it pales in comparison to what you're seeing on film right now. A mother putting makeup on their boy, propping her up like a hero. Look at this.
Because he's been taking voguing classes with Gerard X. Reyes, who's fantastic. He's doing first time in drags at a ball.
We're going to go inside, see your performance.
She's wearing a
all right?
Nazi sticker.
Okay.
So then they take her to this show. So this is another drag show. Oh, isn't this is such great children's performance art right here. Yeah, forget Disney on Ice, you know, forget going to the Nickelodeon's, you know, cartoon shows or Nickelodeon Studios or, you know, anything like that. Let's take my kid to a drag show because she'll stick out and everybody will love me because I'm a selfish parent. That's what's going on here.
Oh my gosh, I want to be just like these people.
There you go. And now they're all cheering on this poor kid. This is sick. This is child abuse, folks. Look at this poor kid. Look at this, folks. Just cut it. I'm done with this. I'm done with this. The left is completely sick. This is the mental state of the left. They hate the family. That's why they poison their own youth, folks. This parent doesn't give a damn about that kid. All they care about is the selfishness of their own popularity and everybody looking at them and look, my kid's a hero. Okay, but let's just go through the rest of this real quick. Just to show you, you know, the leaders in Europe obviously don't have kids. Okay, maybe they're anti-family, maybe they're not. Just a fact, they don't have kids. Then here in America, we're making our kids be drag queen stars, putting makeup on them and putting them in front of the camera, forcing them into this lifestyle. That's child abuse. Then you have Kurt Eichenwald tweeting about how he's looking for porn with his kid. You cannot make this up. You would think that I am nuts if I told you that this crap was going on, but it literally happens in real time. This is literally insane. Kurt Eichenwald talking about looking into tentacle porn with his wife and kids. So now, CNN has also fired one of these leftist nuts. They fire Reza Aslan. So just so you know who this guy is who works for CNN, he's literally been a cannibal on live TV, and he also called for the rape of Todd Aiken. This is the modern day left. Electrify your day with Secret 12. It's like lightning in a bottle. We all have days in which we just can't seem to perform at the level we'd like to. Infowars Live Secret 12 is designed to naturally energize your body and mind with 2 great tasting and super high quality forms of vitamin B12. Proper vitamin and nutrient intake is essential to keep your body functioning at optimum levels. The reality is, it's hard to take in the proper amount of vitamins we need each day with our modern diets. Secret 12 by Infowars Live is an easy way to naturally
naturally upgrade your vitamin B12 intake and support your body's natural systems. It pairs 2 forms of vitamin B12 into one explosive formula. Vitamin B12 supports healthy energy levels through red blood cell formation and aiding in the body's natural processes, but it also assists with many other functions of the body. Electrify your mind and body and take your health to the next level. Experience the power of Secret 12 at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to secure your canister. We have worked for years with our chemists and scientists to create the most powerful and affordable, great-tasting multivitamin formula available. Vitamin Mineral Fusion Drink Mix at InfoWarsLife.com is loaded with a full month's supply of essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that your body absolutely needs. In the history of InfoWars Life, we've brought out a lot of amazing products like Survival Shield X2, Super Male Vitality, and so many others. With its unique delivery system and proprietary manufacturing process designed for maximized effects, this formula is the platinum standard of multivitamin mineral products. And this part is most important. The ingredients in Vitamin Mineral Fusion are either plant-derived or of the highest quality lab standard. That means it's clean. That means it's pure. And rest assured, you're fighting the tip of the spear in the info war. That's InfoWarsLife.com and Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Take action now before we sell out. We have the new product at InfoWarsLife.com, BioTrue Selenium.
We've had so many requests over the years for selenium, and just recently, we were able to source a certified organic, bioavailable selenium from mustard seed extract. When you take selenium in the body, it actually benefits the detoxification systems in your body. It helps balance the thyroid gland. It helps detoxify.
Selenium is another one of those absolute must-haves.
The highest concentration of selenium is in the thyroid gland, but it's actually used all over the body. As a matter of fact, there's 25 genes in the body that are directly dependent upon selenium. So it really is a all-around nutrient that everybody really needs.
I'm taking it now every day. This is so key. BioTrue Selenium is the product, the best selenium that we could bring you. We believe it's the best out there at a very, very low price. Exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. We're selling a product, DNA Force, that is the very best nutraceutical that we can produce. Dr. Group, you took years for you to develop DNA Force for us.
It's been something that I've been working on for a long time, Alex, because I think it's very, very important. What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying.
We chose the PQQ because it has over 175 different clinical trials. It's one of the most effective substances in the world. It works like an antioxidant. It works to repair nerve growth factor.
So this is a formula to deliver the maximum amount. It's in powder form.
We have so many 5-star reviews. I take this. This is the product that I take.
InfoWarsLife.com, and the profit we make. We fight the globals. We fight the New World Order. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Well, President Trump told us that he would drain the swamp, and he's coming through. And it's time for us to come through when the midterms come around. But another thing that President Trump has done that's been great, and this includes removing us from the TPP, getting us out of the Paris Climate Accord. From the Washington Examiner, Trump delivering biggest cut in regulations since Ronald Reagan. And again, these are regulations that you could have found in the TPP, regulations you could have found in the Paris Climate Accord, and just many other regulations that have been building up and building up and building up and building up. And so President Trump decided to give a speech about it and describe exactly what he's talking about with all of these regulations. Here's President Trump.
Instead of rebuilding our country, Washington has spent decades building a dense thicket of rules, regulations, and red tape. It took only 4 years to build the Golden Gate Bridge and 5 years to build the Hoover Dam, and less than 1 year to build the Empire State Building. People don't believe that. Took less than 1 year. But today it can take 10 years and far more than that just to get the approvals and permits needed to build a major infrastructure project. These charts beside me are actually a simplified version of our highway permitting process. It includes 16 different approvals involving 10 different federal agencies being governed by 26 different statutes.
So he tells you about how it used to be easier to build. We could build things quicker when the government wasn't getting in the way of us and our prosperity. So here's President Trump actually illustrating that in real time.
As one example, and this happened just 30 minutes ago, I was sitting with a great group of people responsible for their state's economic development and roadways. All of you are in the room now. And one gentleman from Maryland was talking about a 18-mile road. And he brought with him some of the approvals that they've gotten and paid for. They spent $29 million for an environmental report weighing 70 pounds and costing $24,000 per page. And I said, do me a favor, I'm going to make a speech in a little while. Do you mind if I take that and show it? So I'm going to show it.
This is why I love President Trump right here.
Phase one.
He's showing you exactly what he's talking about. He has a meeting with these people. He has meetings with real Americans who are dealing with this nonsense. There he goes. Just toss it aside. Get these regulations out of our way. The crowd roars because they're the ones that have been dealing with this. They're the ones that have been trying to rebuild this country, trying to rebuild the infrastructure. Trump says, tell me the issues. How can we make this better? They say, well, President Trump, I tried to build a road, and I got 3 binders of government regulations, couldn't even lay any pavement. That's what Trump says. He says, get this crap out of our way.
So this caused...
He's done with it.
Make sure I move it. I don't want to trip on the way out. That would be a big story. Especially to trip over that. So they spent millions and millions of dollars. When I said, how long has this short roadway been talked about? The gentleman said, well, if you say 20 years, you're safe. I said, yeah, don't.
So 20 years trying to build a road and nothing but government regulations in the way. Pathetic. President Trump wants to do something about it. Here was a powerful speech from President Trump also 2 days ago talking about the people that are trying to stop him and the American people's agenda.
The entrenched interests and failed bitter voices in Washington will do everything in their power to try and stop us from this righteous cause, to try to stop all of you. They will lie, they will obstruct, they will spread their hatred and their prejudice. But we will not back down from doing what is right.
Amen to that, President Trump, and that's why we have to get behind him. That's why all of these leaders of America that he's meeting with are behind his agenda and cheer for him when he gives these speech. Now, let's go to this report from John Bound.
America, don't fool yourself by saying it can't happen here, because it is happening here. Sharia law is infesting our communities. Case in point, the Detroit Free Press reports a federal prosecutor dropped a bombshell in court Wednesday, telling a federal judge that the government estimates that as many as 100 girls may have had their genitals cut at the hands of a local doctor and her cohorts. Assistant U.S. Attorney Sarah Woodward disclosed the information while trying to convince a judge to keep a doctor and his wife locked up in the historic case. It involves allegations that 2 Minnesota girls had their genitals cut at a Livonia clinic in February as part of a religious rite of passage and were told to keep what happened a secret. Woodward said, referring to the lead defendant in the case, "Due to the secretive nature of this procedure, we are unlikely to ever know how many children were cut by Dr. Nagarwala. The Minnesota victims were not the first victims." Sharia law covers family law, criminal law, and even personal beliefs, with penalties for blasphemy and apostasy. Under Sharia, husbands can beat their wives. Females are second-class citizens. Female leadership roles are an impossibility. Marrying prepubescent females is permissible. Raping female infidels is permissible, not to mention all of the honor killings and stoning of females to death by their families.
It was in this Peoria, Arizona parking lot that 48-year-old unemployed truck driver Falah Amaliki rammed his Jeep into two women. One of Amaliki's victims was his 20-year-old daughter, Noor.
When a young woman strays from what her family expects and she tries to stand up for what might be her legal rights, her family may react, retaliate by killing her or hurting her in order to avenge her misbehavior and clean its own honor, redeem itself in the face of the community.
What's being called a nationwide day of action against Muslims is expected to happen across the country this Saturday.
And in Roseville, the group known for spreading anti-Islamic messages has also planned a march.
Notice how the propaganda-spewing reporters dangerously labeled the march as anti-Muslim, stoking the fires of anger in the reactive left and the Soros-financed Antifa movement.
Last year at the state capitol, a massive riot broke out as alt-right and anti-fascist groups clashed. 10 people were stabbed and others injured. And just 2 months ago in Berkeley, more violence as a woman was punched in the face by a self-proclaimed white nationalist.
But this issue isn't that black and white. Sharia itself is a complex set of Islamic principles, and when followed peacefully, is intended to bring its adherents closer to God. However, due to the radical practice of Sharia law in other countries and its subsequent usage by the thousands of refugees flooding into the West, Sharia's primitive nature is being heavily exported. 10 U.S. states have already adopted, and 16 other U.S. states have proposed legislation to ban the imposition of foreign laws in America. The SPLC and the left would label the June 10th anti-Sharia march as an extremist Islamophobic event.
Islamic terrorists who have no soul are killing young girls, women, children, and innocent bystanders in barbaric ways. Islamofascism is the issue of our time and must be stopped. That's why this Saturday, June 10th, we're organizing rallies in 29 cities in 21 states to take a stand before it's too late. This is your chance to show the fake news media what you think of their open border zealotry, to show spineless DC politicians what you think of their PC pandering, to show President Trump that you stand behind his necessary travel ban from terror-ridden nations.
USA, watch your back! USA, watch your back! The Muslims are coming back! We are here to call for a complete and utter regime change in Britain.
America's going to see firsthand what's going to happen. How their freedoms be under attack. This is what's happening. This is coming your way.
This isn't about the 3.3 million American Muslims peacefully living in the United States. In fact, they should be joining the march too. When Sharia law rears its ugly head in our communities as a subversive alternative to our Bill of
Alex Jones here with a very important news update to anybody out there that wants to be prepared. But it goes beyond being prepared. Our bodies absolutely must have the good halogen iodine or we will die. And you look at all of the thyroid problems and all the people that don't have energy and that have all sorts of hormone problems. And from my research, and a lot of just mainline research, it leads back to iodine over and over and over again. It's as important as vitamin C. If you don't get iodine, you die. But most people are just deficient, so they're low energy, they're sick. You got to have iodine in your body so that your body can produce the hormones you need. It is the base to so many things. And since I got into iodine 4 years ago, we've helped change the entire paradigm by developing and bringing to the public deep earth crystals from 7,000 to 12,000 feet of the purest iodine available. Other iodine comes from the ocean or from other byproducts of chemical facilities and is tainted. It's bound. It's not absorbable. I tried it. And I had incredible effects even with dirty iodine because the body needs it. When you don't have iodine, it absorbs the chlorine, the fluoride, and all these other bad halogens. Do yourself and your family a favor and check out the importance of iodine for yourself. I think you're going to be blown away. And whatever you do, support the broadcast and get a bottle of Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2. Also consult your physician because if you've been deficient in it or have other issues, it can have some dramatic effects. As for me and most folks I talk to, it's been a game changer in the positive column, but still consult your physician because iodine is no joke. It's a key building block of the body. And if you haven't had it for a long time and suddenly have it, some folks say they've experienced things like a detoxing effect and things like that. You've got to have vitamin C. You've got to have iodine to live. You've got to have water to live. Iodine is key. You must have it, but consult your physician first before you get powerful Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2 at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free. We can answer your questions, 888-253-3139.
Millie Weaver reporting for Infowars.com. Now that President Trump has pulled out of the Paris climate change agreement, we're going to go ahead and talk to some liberals as to whether or not they still feel that the federal government should do everything for them, or if they think it needs to be handled at a state level or in the private sector. Let's go see what they have to say. What do you think about Trump pulling out of the Paris Accord?
Oh, I don't know.
You know, the climate change agreement with Paris? What do you think about that?
Not good. It's on the wrong side of history.
Well, I think it's a terrible idea. I think that it's one of the worst things he's done so far. And climate change is a reality, and he doesn't want to see it. And I think there's a lot of, oil people behind it, and I think it's terrible.
It's pretty messed up. Not surprising, but yeah.
I just think we're going backwards as a country. He's not looking to the future. And we're children of the 60s, where there was hope, and now there's no hope.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, the fact that he ended up using a mayor who then openly said, oh, no, we're going to do everything we can, and trying to quote, I represent the citizens of America, not Paris. It's like, well, it's global climate change. The key word being global. It's going to affect all of us, whether you're in Paris or Montreal or Russia or America or China or anything. So it doesn't make any sense that he wouldn't want to, help save the world and therefore Americans, too. I mean, the Paris Agreement, I know it's largely symbolic, but symbolic things matter. And I think that when one of the most powerful people in the world make the symbolic gesture to turn it down and say no to it, it makes us look pretty bad for the rest of the world. So I think it's a problem not just for the climate, but for our standing in the rest of the world.
It might not have been the best deal, but it was a deal, and it's a start. Now as the leaders, we're no longer leaders.
It's about, like NATO, the same kind of thing. It's about collaboration, as I said, respect, and no matter what, even if it's not the end all, it's a process of people working together. And we strove since the 60s to get people to be united, and now it's basically separating people. And that's what worries me the most, that we're separating people.
He's an idiot.
He's an idiot. Do you think that global warming is a real problem?
Of course, yes. He's an idiot.
Do you believe that we're actually having global warming?
Yeah, of course. I agree with science.
Yes, I think any intelligent, remotely educated person does. So, yes, I do.
In general, I feel that lately, the past few years, it's just weird. Sometimes it's colder than you expect, and sometimes it's just hotter than you expect. So I'm from Miami, and in Miami, we were seeing that change. We used to have somehow of a winter, or a few days during the winter time where we have a nice cold weather, and we don't see that anymore.
Well, of course it's a problem because our climate is changing all the time, and the fact of the matter is we can't even predict what's happening in terms of what we need to do. We need to just set ground rules by which we all treat the environment in a nicer way. Nature is what we're all about.
I have one word for all of this: lack of respect. Respect the world you live in, people, the environment.
Well, I'm actually studying to be a physicist and biology student right now, so it's what we've studied so far, and what we know is that the key ice cap that's holding back the majority of the ice flows in Antarctica is steadily melting, and if that goes, the sea level can rise as much as 6+ feet in 10, 20 years, which is going to put a lot of places underwater. And the rapid temperature changes in areas going from hot and cold or flipping all the way around will kill animal life, plant life, and if those go, humans go with them.
Well, it's not going to last much longer.
I think that eventually we are all going to be gone, for sure, because we're already seeing the droughts and all the flooding, and it's just going to get worse. So I think it's at some point we're just going to be it's going to be over for us.
Do you think that global warming is a real problem?
Yes, I do.
What do you think needs to be done to stop it?
There's so much, it's hard to even know where to start.
What do you think will happen if we don't make changes?
You'll have to ask my grandkids.
We're different on this. I'm not sure if global warming, there is an issue or how bad that issue is. I think there's a lot of facts on both parties to talk about. I mean, I've seen articles on both. So I think it needs to be revisited, but just because you're part of the Paris, I guess, Environmental Act, I'm not sure if that doesn't mean that we're not going to support it.
Since, Trump has, at the federal level, decided no on this, do you think that people instead should rely more on local and state changes?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, from what I had heard, a few cities had already signed on, symbolically again, to say they wanted to, be a part of what the agreement, what they're striving for, I guess. So again, it's got to start local. Everything good does.
And I think if they kept it up to states, it actually might be a bit better, because then states would have more power to make it stricter or less so, depending on how they saw fit with their industries going.
Do you think that this kind of proves, or in a sense, that maybe things shouldn't be held up at the federal level? Maybe there shouldn't be this power at the federal level to then determine that?
Yes, I totally agree with you. I think it shouldn't be. I think, it should be a debate, and it should be among the people of the United States to decide that, not the federal government.
Do you think that it should be more up to states and private industry to actually make those changes?
Totally, I totally believe that.
Well, the enlightened states are doing it. The enlightened states are saying we're going to abide by the Paris Accord. California, where I'm from, then we're going to go our own way. We're going to go our own way and make sure that we live in a world, do our best to live in a world that's safe for both the environment and for the children, the next generations.
What's sad is you're going your own way.
The states are equally as responsible.
I would like to see that they work together on that. I don't think you can just hold state governments or the federal together. But
I appreciate that.
There's some people out there saying that maybe the dinosaurs went extinct because they made so much methane gas, aka dinosaur farts, and you know how cow farts are, it's an issue, the methane gas.
Right.
Do you think that maybe the dinosaurs were made extinct because of their methane?
I have no idea, but I will say, dinosaurs didn't have Humvees, so.
Well, the fact that we've proven that it was a gigantic meteorite that landed in Mexico that killed them, I don't think farting had anything to do with it. And, nature's kind of a fine-tuned machine when left on her own, so I think methane wouldn't really be a problem in the environment.
Do you think that people saying that the cows' methane gas and their farting is a real issue?
Well, we have done a heck of a lot to increase their population. That goes without saying because of the beef industry.
Would you believe it if some of the scientists are saying that CO2 levels were 5 times higher during the Jurassic period than they are today?
No, I don't believe so, because, the organisms, were a heck of a lot bigger, but there was actually 8 times more oxygen back then than there was today.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that. That seems surprising. Probably would have to do some research before I would believe that, yeah.
So the reality is, when this administration is gone, we could step back into the Paris Accord and do what we should be doing right. So.
And not everything is a deal. Sometimes it's about heart and soul.
So you think that the United States should just be willing to kind of take a battered, worse deal for themselves in order to start the process?
What's the worst deal? What's the worst deal? What's the worst? I'm asking you. We didn't say worst deal. You just mentioned worst deal. What's the worst deal?
Well, what I'm saying is you said that it's not the best deal for the United States at first, but it's a start.
I guess I did say something
I don't know
like
if you
that.
said that.
Well, liberals were not happy about Trump pulling out of the Paris climate change agreement, and most believe that the end of the world was nigh and that natural disasters were imminent. But a significant number of liberals actually started to drift toward a more conservative viewpoint, which would be to handle it on the state and local level and through the private sector. This is Millie Weaver signing off for Infowars.com.
I am very proud to announce the introduction of the highest quality Infowars Biome Defense Probiotic. We wanted to come out with the largest spectrum of high quality known probiotics that have been proven to improve overall digestion and health and detoxification in the body. Biome Defense is an exclusive blend of 50 billion live and active cultures from over 23 different probiotic strains that are known to support digestion and intestinal function. Our researchers are confident that we have been able to develop what will be the leading probiotic on the market. Secure your Biome Defense in ultra strength or regular strength at InfoWarsLife.com today and get started supporting your digestive system naturally. We've been testing this formula for years, but this is the limited first run to the public, so please take advantage of it today. Support your own health and support the InfoWar.